So, one of the jokes we frequently have on this channel is real decks have curves, and that I often say that jokingly, it is kind of based in reality. Like, real decks that are competitive tend to have curves where, like, you consistently make plays in the early game and curve out into fewer things at your top end. And the curve of this deck is one thing that is of some concern. If you look here, we do have, 8 1-drops and 7 proactive 2-drops. Our 3 slot here is pretty chunky. That being said, Oketra's Monument, when this comes down on 3, does allow us to play 2 3-drops on turn 4, which is kind of appealing. So I'm interested to see how this one goes. We've got reasonable disruption in like Judge's Familiar and Reflector Mage and Spell Queller. We got some protection in terms of Selfless Spirit, and then Oketra's Monument should give us reasonable aggressive starts. So interested to see if the mix of disruption along with aggression that we have here is enough to make this competitive. Thanks for the 5 months, Bob. I appreciate that. Welcome back. My end of year is going all right. Definitely better. November was a little bit rough. December looks like we're on the upswing. Start the new year off strong. Doing a ton of streams here to start the year. I'm gonna be live 8 to 10 hours a day every day for the next 7 days. We're gonna play through a ton of Pioneer, play some Standard, play some Historic. The Mr. T of curves, if you would. This is where the magic happens, chat. This is where the magic happens. This game blows. Alright, yeah, I guess. Did you say something about 3 drops? How about 3 lands? Can I get 3 lands to go with my 3 drops? Please and thank you. Are we gonna overlap games done quick? I don't really keep track of other things like that. As an adult with multiple children, I get in my extra stream time when the schedule permits, and this is when the schedule permits. Thanks for the Biddy Scholar. Is part of the game, right? Yeah, Deck and Stone's likely very good here. I'm gonna put a bird back into play. Be interested. Based on my historical numbers, games done quick doesn't really impact what we do here. I'm sure there's a non-zero number of people that will be like watching games done quick as opposed to me, but in general, overlapping those types of things doesn't really change how many viewers I tend to have in my experience. I think I want to put Judge's Familiar into play here. I didn't have one of those in the queue, I sticks. I have a log of all of those. The only one I have waiting to be applied is Simic Twiddle. So I have like a dashboard that shows all the bumps. Is it possible to change a deck that I've submitted for the queue? Assuming no one else has donated money to see your deck sooner, it's fine to swap a deck out. Feel free to email me from the address that you added the deck from, and I can let you know. But if there are other points in the points column for your deck, that means someone else has contributed for it, and I can't swap it out anymore. It would be unfair to the other person who contributed to your submission. My poor little bird. I think we're dead, chat. We gave it the college try. I mean, like, all things considered, thanks to the London Mulligan we actually got to play a game on 4 cards. We didn't have enough resources to actually win because their draw was very good, but all else, we did at least actually get to play a game. Deputy of Detention sounds good here. This destroys all creatures power 3 or greater. It's probably fine. Kills flipped thing in the ice too. Spell Queller seems a little less than stellar here. I think I'm going to keep the rest. This is format starting to feel a little modern adjacent in that I don't have any Rest in Peace or Graveyard Hate in the sideboard, really, because I've elected to put Ceremonious Rejections and Disdainful Stroke for the ramp deck. So in these non-rotating formats where there's lots of decks, you're frequently kind of forced to pick and choose, like, which matchups you want to sideboard for and which type of matchups you just want to kind of, like, dodge or punt. And definitely punting the graveyard matchups with this deck as constructed a little bit. Just put 20 cards in your board, hope no one notices. Yeah, exactly. In fact, the hoping to dodge particular matchups is a big part of why decks that are proactive tend to be better than decks that are reactive in Magic. Just because, like, if you're playing a proactive deck and you come across something that you're not well prepared for in your sideboard, your answer can just be, well, I'm just going to run them down. Fucking Moto, man. That's frustrating. So, definitely just got punished for pressing my F6 key instead of my pass, unless they have something that gains priority there. So, obviously, I should have Judges Familiared this Brazen Borrower. So they didn't have that, and I still had my clue, but I was auto-passing, so I didn't get the opportunity to do that, which feels bad. So they're going to have a 3-1 now that they otherwise wouldn't have. Phoenix isn't too big of a deal. You get to go ahead and deck and stone that. Or we can just ignore it for the time being. Ignore it for the time being sounds great. Start with Deck and Stone here and see what they do. Attack with these in the air. We have 2 cards left. If they don't have Treasure Cruise, we could maybe be okay. It's been a long time since I've done a job interview. So I can't say that I'm too useful in giving advice in that department. Leaving the Judge's Familiar back, because I'd like to be able to trade it with Brazen Borrower here if they deploy that. Yeah, we had cleaned out all the old commands at one point. In fact, I think Marty did most of it previously. And then the bot, like, died and got restored from a previous snapshot. And the snapshot that it got restored from had all the old commands in it again. Lightning Axe, discard Reflector Mage. I think I'm going to go ahead and just indestructible my squad here. Wow, they have Treasure Cruise their last card? That's brutal. Treasure Cruise is always their last card, chat. Just for reference. For those of you that are new to Magic and new to playing against Phoenix, Treasure Cruise is always the last card. Okay, if we don't get Spell Pierced here, this kills Phoenix and Brazen Borrower. And then we can Aftermath this and pick up Judge's Familiars and Selfless Spirits next turn, which would be nice. Yeah, we don't really have a cleanup mechanic for... Oh, that's not true, actually. I boarded in my Deputy of Detentions, right? Yeah, if we can find a Deputy... maybe we could be okay. The fact that they failed to bring back their Phoenix this turn is really good for us. Need to draw Deputy this turn, though. Very dead. Yeah, Deck and Stone would be a good clean answer as well. Good call. All right, now you're going to make me click on this link, Marty. I think I know what this is. Don't you dare delete that one, Marty. That's great. I'm going to tweet that clip. That's good, clean living. We should play it. We should take a moment. We should take a moment and play that one on stream. That's good. That's great. Okay, I think I've got this set up. A little bit of Cryptic Command, a little bit of Snappy in my hand, a little bit of Path you fail to find, a little bit of Remand you don't mind, A little bit of Colonnade doesn't tap. A little bit of Jace might be a trap. A little bit of Teferi seems insane. A little bit of Terminus concede the game. Pretty good. I'm pretty good at this content thing occasionally. You know, sometimes, every once in a while. Every once in a while. That's wonderful. I would like the record to reflect that when I started, you could see when I started reading that comment too, that I didn't realize that that's what it was the tune to, and then I picked it up. I was like, oh yeah, that's what this is supposed to be. Opening live in concert soon for your Bezo bucks. Right on time, one drop. Welcome to the party. I think I'm actually going to play Inspector on 2 here rather than Selfless Spirit, because I want to give myself the best possible chance to hit my 3rd land drop on time. So I want to crack this clue next turn if I'm about to miss. Can I get my 110 refunded, or is it too late? It's a little bit too late. Thanks for keeping me around, Wiku. Welcome back. Interesting that they elected to play this before. Oh, feels magic, man. Would you believe the list that someone had submitted for this deck? I added a land to it. I looked at it and I was like, you know what, this deck really wants a 23rd land. It's a little scary. Yeah, like this deck really needs to hit 3 on time, so like adding the extra land was definitely right. And this is why when you ask how a deck is doing, you can't just look at the record. Because this deck might not be good, but the games we've played so far definitely haven't given us insight into whether or not it's actually good. I'm reading a couple Disdainful Stroke because it looks like they're a ramp deck. I'm going to trim Cloudblazer because it's kind of expensive. I'm going to click Submit to run it back and hope to draw a 3rd land in 3 turns when we draw an extra card. Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes, right? Like, that's part of Magic as a game. Like, when you hear people talk about, like, players who are really great at the game and how many results they have, like, the thing you often don't hear mentioned is how many times those players who are considered really great showed up at tournaments and just, like, absolutely bombed out. And it likely wasn't that they weren't prepared for those tournaments. It's just that sometimes you just don't get to play Magic. Magic's a game that frequently lacks player agency. Also a lot of games you get to make a lot of fun and interesting decisions, but it's definitely not always the rule. Sometimes it's the exception. I think I'm just supposed to Reflector Mage this one, rather than putting Monument down. They're like, pig us next turn, it'd be real bad for us. Generator Servant lets them make 2 mana and put the thing in with haste. Yeah, some variance is required to keep things interesting, for sure. Fainted in general, I'd ask that you ask me before you swap a deck out, just because like I don't always accept everything. So like if you're submitting something new, you need to let me know, please. Send me an email, please, from wherever you submitted the deck from, and I can let you know after I'm done streaming today. Yep, that's a raise boar. Who is raise boar putting into play? This thing attacks, it puts a monster into play. Yep. So let this come into play. I'm going to sack this to get the rest of my squad indestructible. I get to put 4 unblockable toughness in front, or 5 indestructible toughness in front of here, but I'm taking 10, and they get to put another Dragon Lord Atarka into play next turn, because this thing pops back up to their hand. So we're probably dead here, huh? Feels dead, man. It's been a rough start to the day, chat. And these feel like it really jumps out at me. The person that said I should accept less bad decks to the queue or be more strict, like both of these decks we're playing to start today, like the green-white deck we played before this one that was kind of a dumpster fire, and this one, I thought they looked really good on the surface. It's just, it's hard to tell, right? Like Magic's got a lot going on in it, and especially in newer formats like this, or formats that are still developing, it's impossible to know like whether or not something's actually going to play out reasonable just by looking at the deck list. Yeah. And the number of times where like I've been kind of hazy and almost rejected something, and then like I take it and we play it and it's really awesome. Like I don't want to miss one of those decks by trying to like weed out a couple of medium ones in between. Want to see more powerful decks like Kiki Chord? Oh, Kiki Chord. Man. Magic today is just like, so Jeff, I heard you wanna stream 7 days in a row. Magic's like, we're gonna test Jeff's fortitude and see if he actually wants to stream this many days in a row. Hey, thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub, Vonin. Happy Saturday, happy end of the year, welcome back. All right, hoping for that third land on turn 3, something that's escaped us so far this match, or this set. Well, to be fair, Narset Cannon died when Faithless Looting died, right? Both of those are great. Sign me up. Yeah, definitely agree. It's something that takes... It's one of the things that, like, I think a lot of people, and even this is something I have to do and make estimates of on stream, you know, like, people come in after I've played, you know, 3 games or 4 games, and people are like, you know, what do you think of this deck? And the actual answer is, I don't know a lot of the time. When you hear me make suggestions of things in decks, you'll often hear me use words like likely or maybe or possibly, because the actual answer is, without putting in more work, it's impossible to know with certainty. And the amount of games you have to play not only involves a high volume of pre and post board games, but like those post board games are going to drastically differ as well in terms of like how your opponent's sideboarding match to match. I must have missed it, Y Sticks. Thanks for the biddies and thanks for check-in. I'll add a tenner for missing it. Alright, looks like another thing in the ice deck. Another Phoenix deck. Hey, JCat, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Is there an amount of money that would get you to play the red aggro deck in the deck queue today after JC instead of a standard deck? For a $50 donation, you can bump a deck that's already in the deck queue into today's schedule. If you would like to add a deck that's not already in the deck queue in today's schedule, it is a $100 donation. And as always, it's much cheaper to just wait to see things played or contribute outside of the stream to not cut things in, but those are the cut the lines. Names the rates. One of the nice things about this week is because Christy and the kids are out of town, is I'm going to be able to accept any and all cut the lines. So if people want to pay me to work extra overtime on top of the long streams, I'm going to be here for that this week. I've got my fridge and my snack bar loaded up. We're going to take a meal break at some point in the middle for a couple minutes. My goal, Winds of Rebuke. Woof. How much do we need to just never stop? That's not an option. About 16 to 18 hours is my limit in a day. I think we definitely... So part of the problem with Westvale Abbey is that if we're in a situation where Westvale Abbey is good, we're probably winning anyways just because we have a lot of tokens. Another thing is that the color requirements in this deck are kind of intensive. So like cutting lands that make white mana for non-white lands is not super appealing. Sign up for 7. Well, 24 hours is not an option. I'll take cut the lines up to like 16 hours. I need sleep. The Winding Road with the big tip. I want to see Rabble Master on stream today. Hugel Demock. Thank you for the absurd support. I appreciate it. JAC and red aggro. And just to confirm, Winding Road, you're talking about red aggro that's currently at 49 points, right? It's got Rabble Master in it. Sleep is a crutch. Perfect. And because I've got time for Cut the Lines today, that's not going to replace any of the standard decks, so We're going to add red aggro after JAC and Pioneer today, and we're still going to do at least 3 standard decks. I appreciate the support, Rod. The Phoenix coming back here. And a Lightning Axe. So we're taking 8 this turn. The semi-good news is Monument's going to give us a lot of blockers, but the fact that we're down to 7 here probably means those blockers are too little too late. Okay. That's potentially very good. Gives us a little bit of life and a blocker. Yeah, I think I just take the Reflector Mage here. And I think I Reflector Mage the Phoenix and hope they don't have a way to discard and get it back into play this turn. I just need to alleviate some of this pressure. Yeah, some have replaced Thing in the Ice, some are playing a mix. The popularity of both green ramp and blue-white control makes Pyromancer better than Thing in the Ice a lot of the time. So Thing in the Ice is better when the format is more based around board presence. Pyromancer is much better when you need to be aggressive. Our opponent is on a boat, chat. Casual, like draw 9 cards this turn. The opponent has 27 cards left in their deck. Sub to Tell Winding Road. I appreciate their dono for Mono Red. Well, thanks for the support, Jornell. Free subscriptions are the best subscriptions. Well, thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Well, their boats are trying to take us out to sea, chat. Land. Okay, so I get to Oketra's Monument plus Spell Queller here. If they don't have a bunch of burn spells, we might be okay. Moonlight, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I'm going to save this Spell Queller for a card that discards cards, because I know they have a Phoenix in their hand. So if they, like, Chart a Course or Is It Charm here, I want to counter that. Why not attack with Vigilance? Because I'm stupid. I didn't make the good play because I missed it. Okay, so I'm going to Spell Queller this one and hope they don't have another Lightning Axe. They're going to get the Phoenix back out of their bin, but they're not going to get the one out of their hand into the bin unless they have Lightning Axe here, which is great. Okay, so I have to trade with the Phoenix, otherwise I die. Maybe this Cloudblazer can drag us out of this game kicking and screaming. Maybe. They just have 7 cards in their hand still. Okay, I think I'm supposed to hope to draw an untapped land here. I think I'm supposed to hope to draw an untapped land here. Otherwise, I die to Phoenix. It's weird going 24 hours without your content. Watching your YouTube is part of my routine as I eat dinner. Apologies. You're not gonna have that problem again for a while. Good chance we're dead here. was blocking the Pyromancer with a 2/2 as opposed to a 1/1. I blocked their Pyromancer with a 2/3. Both of these are 2/3s. Blayara, thank you for the year and a half. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think that's probably lethal, right? Because they're going to have multiple Phoenixes coming back now. Yep. Even if we'd hit the mana for the Deck and Stone there, we were going to die to 2 Phoenix with a bunch of spells. Again, feeling awkward that my sideboard ended up the way that it has here. Not having any copies of Rest in Peace. Feels real bad. That game we mulliganed to 5 that game. Yeah, Lucid's one we can drop, Marty. That was one of the old Tempo sponsors. Thanks for cleaning all those out. That's something that I probably should have done. Just haven't had time to with how crazy my life's been the last month or so. All right, sweet. Look at that. Functional 6. I'm so excited. Functional 6. Hey, Elliot. Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm going to Charming Prince and blink the Thraben Inspector here. I think that's better than Scrying. Generates another clue this way. They want to Wild Slash my 1/2 so I don't get to blink it. I think that's a win for me. Means I end up with more power in play. Pretty happy to just deck this in stone right away. Deck the halls with bowels of Pyromancer. Fa la 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 la. Bowels of Pyromancer. Yeah, come on now. What else are you gonna put around the halls? Land. Itty bitty bugle boy, company B. Wild Slash is preferred to shock because of situational ferocious clause. I'm building a budget deck for a friend. I'm struggling to justify $20 on Slash rather than 20 cents on Shocks. Yeah, that's the only upside, Winding Road. Wild Slash lets you randomly get around protection cards. The fact that they banned Nexus of Fate means that Wild Slash over Shock is less important than it once was, because when Nexus of Fate was a deck, Wild Slash with Ferocious countered Wild Slash with Ferocious, countered Fog, which was really important against Nexus. Missing land drops and then getting our 3 mana spells bounced back to our hands feels real bad. They have Mizzium Mortars. I think this card's probably underplayed in this format right now. Seems really good in general. Man, they boarded in the gate against my deck with like 6 non-creature spells in it. Feels rough, man. You should make sure to leave the vaccines command, Marty. That one's really important. Second negate, sure. That one's gonna rot. Hey, Squishy. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. I plan to be here doing stuff and things as long as y'all have me. Oh, it has really not been our morning, chat. It has really not been our morning. Oh, feels magic, man. Feels magic. We've got huge tracts of land. All right, I want to play the last couple with this one still until we hit. If we win this one, we'll play the last one. Unlike the green-white deck where I felt like I didn't have anything to really learn, our set of matches with this so far, we've just been kind of absurdly unlucky. In 6 games, we've like mulliganed, I don't know, a dozen times it feels like. We've definitely started on 4 and 5 cards in 2 of our 6 games. Weird, Marty. Maybe the bot has some kind of safety catch to prevent you from doing too much and you triggered it. Hey, me. Thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, let's see if we can get on the scoreboard, chat. Not only have we not won a match, we currently haven't won a game. So I would like to at least salvage that in this match. Mostly keepable 7 in. Cause it's a sneaper keeper, do 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 do, sneep papa keep papa, do 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 do, do 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 do. Listen, we're 0-6 on the day, chat, and we only paid $20 for the privilege of being 0-6 so far today. Who needs to drive to a casino when you can play Magic online from the comfort of your own home, you know? We did win a game with the green-white deck, so the green-white wasn't 06-03 at least. We're never going to draw that blue source, are we? I see you've read this book before, Gold Deadringer. I see this is a book with which you are familiar. Black Sheep for real. Thank you for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Happy holidays. Hope you're enjoying your end of year. Is it supposed to be MI as opposed to me? Not that I'll remember because I'm awful at usernames, but... Oh, Timur Domri. Memories of a simpler time, Marty. I think I'm going to go ahead and deck the halls with the Balls of Soulscar Mage. Fa la 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 la. So that way I can play Selfless Spirit post Oketra's Monument. Ideally, we'll hit a blue source in our next 2 draws. Wow, if their play here is just crack Clue, that's real good for us. Minimal pressure added to the board this turn is ideal because we're not adding anything to the board this turn. Well, not anything that impacts the board immediately, at least. Dear opponent, please don't abrade me. Yeah, our draws from here on out are going to be blue cards and basic planes. That's how this Magic the Gathering game works. Woo! What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Things are looking up, chat. This is it. Don't call it a comeback. We're gonna 2-3 this league. We're gonna win out from here. We're gonna get 5 of our $10 back. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh no. Oh, where's my oops emote? Oh no, it's indestructible, but it's a, oh, oopsie poopsie. Oopsie poopsie. This does -1/-1 counters. So, you know. I was just asserting my dominance, chat. I'm letting my opponent know that we're so far ahead I can afford to let them 2-for-1 me there. We're playing 4D chess over here. Need to just get on our level, chat. "4D checkers," yeah, something like that. I have the biggest and the bestest of brains. Nobody understands Soulscar Mages better than I do, chat. So it was the bigliest brain of moves. Looking forward to the streamathon this week. Keep up the great content. Thanks for 11 months, David. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Should I play the other monument now, chat? Should I play the other monument out? Is that a good line? I think I hold on to the Reflector Mage for now. I don't think I'm just supposed to play it out for pressure here. The problem is, if their next turn is like just playing Bone Crusher, Reflector Maging Bone Crusher isn't super appealing. Here's a portion of a burrito. Thanks for the week of streaming. Thanks for the 8 months, Bunny Killer. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful end of your year. Yes, Reflector Mage does not stop the adventure half of the card. It explicitly stops you from casting the cards you bounce. It does not stop you from casting other parts. So casting the adventure half counts as casting a card named Stomp. Well, so what's our best draw at this point? Militia Bugler probably lets us get some card advantage going. The Cloud Trailblazer, whatever it's called, that draws 2 cards and gains 2 life would be very good. Any other castable creature alongside Reflector Mage would be good. It does not, Dr. Leppy. Because again, it only stops the card that you bounce, that specific name, from being replayed. And flip cards have a different name on their backside. This is a fine draw. It's not Militia Bugler, but it's a card that triggers Monument and then draws another card, which is, you know, something we're looking to do here for sure. Dusk Dawn, not particularly stellar in this matchup in general, but it will get to kill this Bone Crusher Giant and then pick back up a bunch of stuff out of our bin, so... This is probably a card I'm going to sideboard out, but it's going to be fine here. Rebuying a bunch of our stuff that they killed is good. Third Monument incoming. Don't wish that upon me, please. Please, what did I do to deserve that? You played Magic, that's you did the fair. Harsh, but fair. So I assume, hopefully they play Bone Crusher next turn, so we get to Dusk right away. Get him out of there and spend our mana. Ideally, we're gonna draw. Still just looking for Bugler, right? Hazoret. Dog Mom is real scary here. Alright, so I have one more Deck and Stone in my main deck. I think I'm just supposed to pass and make a castle token here. There's some appeal to just casting Dusk to use it, but I think it's important to use the Dusk to kill the Bone Crusher. Gates is in the queue. What year is it? It's been a hot second. I'll take anything once we have we haven't played the Archetype Sense rotation. Maybe it'll surprise us. It might also just be a Smoldering Dumpster Fire, but you know, maybe it'll surprise us. It's a day of dumpster fires. JAC coming up next is super reasonable, I think. And the mono red deck that got cut in after it is also one that's pretty fine. I think it top 16, one of the challenge tournaments on Moto. Please, for the love of God, play out this Bone Crusher. Please play out the Bone Crusher. JAC is Jeskai Ascendancy combo. So I'm going to go ahead and go block here, eat here, take one. They have a card in their hand. The attack with the Beaumont Courier is weird. Oh, they're just gonna do this and then sack the Beaumont Courier. Oh, they're just keeping it alive. Okay, sure. Still don't have a board that I can Dusk reasonably next turn, which sucks. Oh, Dwight. Why would you do this to me, Dwight? What did I do to you? What did I do to you? Why would you wish this third monument upon me and my house? We were just starting to recover from the incredible and fortunate events that had happened so far today. Now I have many legendary monuments in my hand. Oh, vomit. Gotta take one for the team, Dwight. You did this. We're dead now, right? Yeah, I think so. Is that card good against our deck full of mono 3-drops? I think it might be. I think there's a chance it's good against us. We gotta draw like Bugler into Reflector Mage, and even then it's not probably enough. We're gonna end up at 6. We're already through 2 mages. Yeah, we're just dead, right? I just can't do anything. You needed to find Bugler before they found Eidolon. If they hadn't found Eidolon there, I think the Bugler would have been enough. But with them finding Eidolon, there just really wasn't anything we can do. Deck and Stone, Selfless Spirit in, Dust Stone's out. Pretty easy clear here. How many commands are there? Marty, I assume, is going through the list here. There's been a lot over the years. Nah, I think Selfless Spirit's just fine as a 2/1 flyer. Yeah, they add up fairly quickly if you're just adding a couple a week. Remember, I've been doing this a long time. For people that are newer to my content, my channel's been partnered for a little over 4 years now, and I was streaming for a year or 2 before I got partnered. Hey, Milbot, excellent. I'll get that after I'm all done streaming today. Thanks for the support. Pretty sure we just like play this as a 2/2 game 3. $52 months. There are some subs that have been long time ago. God, 52 months. It's a long time. I think I'm gonna counter this and keep my 2/2 rather than my 1/1 flyer. I don't know. It could go either way on that. It's a Reflector Mage, the Soulscar Mage back to their hand next turn, which is nice. Maybe attempt to race here. If we draw Monument, I'll probably deploy Monument, but otherwise we're going to Reflector Mage. We can Reflector Mage the Soulscar Mage, and then potentially Spell Queller it on the way back down. Well, I clicked through attacking there because Moto is Moto. How much RAM we use in application? Not even 2 gigs of RAM yet. Are you even trying, Moto? Come on now. Do you even lift, Moto? Those are rookie numbers. Got to pump those numbers up. I think Bone Crusher is ready, chat. So full transparency symbol. My Windows system here is running an Oracle Box VM because my actual computer runs Superior Operating System. I think I double block here. They're basically letting me trade a 2/3 for their 4/3, which seems good. They could have a burn spell to kill one of them, but they have to have double burn spells since I have Spell Queller. Yes, if you Queller an adventure creature, they get to choose which part they recast is accurate. Unix-based operating systems are the superior operating systems. Although Microsoft is like almost into this decade. They have virtual desktops on Windows now, and PowerShell isn't completely embarrassing. Maybe at some point before I die, Windows will have a tabbed file browser. The fact that I missed 2 points of damage this game could be super relevant. Someone mentioned that it had a clipboard manager built in. All non-Windows based operating systems are generally Unix, yes. Mac OS is a Unix based system. OS X is Unix based. I'm gonna go ahead and jump block here. With the Spell Queller countering another threat, we could potentially get set up to race them well here. They have a Soulscar Mage in their hand that we Reflector Mage back earlier. Let's just counter that one. It's defaulted to off. That's funny. By the way, if you're someone that uses a computer regularly and you don't use a clipboard manager for not knowing what one is, if you've never used a clipboard manager before, let's make sure mine doesn't have anything incriminating on it. Nope, just magic. So a clipboard manager is this. It's basically a hotkey that I can have that calls up that just records the last like 24 things I've copied to my clipboard. It's super useful if you ever do like writing or just like even just general computer use. It's super good for. Made writing papers during college much easier. I've never used the built-in Windows one, but I'm told Clipboard Fusion is one that I've used before on Windows. That's fine. Has a lot more useless space. Yeah. Been tuning Black Red Squidbillies the last few weeks. Highlights include Obligator, Steel Master of Waves, kill your 8 elementals. That's adorable. I think I'm just jumping off here. Don't want to die by mistake. Signs professional stream right there. Checks the clipboard manager before showing a chat. Listen, I've got standards to maintain here. I'm using an Ubuntu 1804 base system. Hey, was that a good draw? I think that was a good draw. Bye, Felicia. Are we about to get on the scoreboard, chat? Are we about to win an entire game of Magic with this deck? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I feel like there's a strong possibility we're about to win an entire game of Magic. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we still gotta fight to see if we can get on the scoreboard here, because, like, we are gonna have to win game 3 on the draw, but at least we can say we didn't go 0-4-0-8, okay? At worst, we've gone 0-4-1-8. The band goal is it's a good quote. It's a good quote. Oh no. Alright, in it to win it. We don't have a 1-drop, but that's fine. One of your finest Thraben Inspectors, please. Would also settle for a Pro Tour Champion Judges Familiar. Okay, we get to go Charming Prince game 3 into a bunch of 2/3s, so. Welcome back, Dwight. I mean, like, talking about cutting a castle for a plains, I think is silly because most of the hands where the castle isn't untapped aren't keepable hands anyways. Like that last hand we looked at where we had a 1-land castle hand, like that hand's not keepable if the castle is a plains. There's only 2 castles in the deck, and we have, you know, like 14 lands or 15 lands, bring them into play untapped. Feels dead, man. So they're attacking us down to 14 here, and then I'm going to go down to 12 when I cast Militia Bugler. I have a really hard time doing typical textbook style learning with technology. The way I learned my way around a Unix system was just like delete Windows and then only force myself to do everything I needed to do on the Unix system. If they have a dog mom here, we're very dead. Well, they just clicked through their combat step by mistake. I don't think we can I still don't think we can win. I think we're still dead, but they did click through their combat step. Everything you need to do is a lot more than the average user. I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know. I feel like average computer user for a long time now mostly just uses their computer as a web browser or to play specific video games, and like doing those things, especially if it's a video game that has Linux support, is super, super easy on most desktop Linux systems these days. They just want us to kill ourselves with their Eidolon. Yeah, checks out. I guess I do get to Spell Queller. Yeah, maybe they're skipping their combat step there means we have a shot. Because I get to Spell Queller Hazaret on the way back down now. Yeah, but the average Linux system comes with Chrome or Firefox pre-installed, Kane. I mean, there's a reason why, like, Chromebooks have been able to take off. It's because, like, having a computer that's basically just a glorified web browser is, like, more than enough for a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, like, being familiar with something has value, right? Like, a lot of the things that I think people don't understand is that, like, a lot of people mistake software that they're familiar with for that software being user-friendly, when in reality, the software is not really any better than most of the alternative. It's just, like, what people are familiar with. Like, just because you're familiar with something doesn't mean it's friendly. It just means you have experience with it. Well, I just drew 4 cards. So considering we're at 8 life, we're probably dead. Be pretty surprised if them drawing 4 cards doesn't lead to us dying here. My girlfriend has an $1,800 MacBook just for web browser. Yeah, I mean, she's not alone in that experience. Alright, so I think I'm just like deck and stone this, hope to not die to burn spells. I think I need to just start playing stuff out. Oh, actually, I can play this in game 3, right? No! Oh! Oh, I forgot to... Alright, I'm done. They're probably dead anyways. You know, we should have lost that game if they hadn't skipped their combat step. So, I would like the record to reflect that one good punt deserves another. They motoed and skipped their combat step. I was talking and playing and didn't attack this before gaining 3. We should have lost if they played. They played better. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think we ran below average in those games. I do also think that some of the clunkiness in our deck did rear its head. Like when we were starting out, I talked about how our deck just had too many 3s in it. And that's part of the awkward tension of this card. This is a card that like wants you to play slightly more expensive cards so you can get the payoff from reducing their cost. But then when you don't have this card, your deck is full of kind of just chunky, expensive cards. Our total overall amount of interaction, I feel like probably wasn't quite enough for like how not linear our deck was. Like overall, if you look at like how aggressive this deck is capable of being, the answer is kind of not very. Like if you were to like look at this deck from a pure goldfish perspective, like its most aggressive nut draw probably doesn't kill till turn 5 or 6, if not 7 or 8, which I think overall we're just not interactive enough in order to make that okay. Like I'd be very surprised if this is like able to beat like the ramp deck, for instance. Yeah, I think people in chat kind of hit what I kind of feel like about this build, which is that it feels like it's doing some of the things that the Spirits deck in this format have been doing while being less disruptive and less evasion, and it's also trying to be aggressive like the White Weenie aggro while not being as aggressive. I feel like we're kind of caught in this awkward middle spot between those two things, and rather than trying to do this, I'd rather go in on the Spirits plan that's more evasive and disruptive, or go more in on the White 1-drop aggro plan where we're more linear, as opposed to this more middling point that this is at right now. All right. So we've got 2 more Pioneer decks coming up today. We are going to be playing some Jeskai Ascendancy combo coming up next. And we're going to play some red aggro after that to wrap up the Pioneer segment today. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to hit a quick ad break while I get cards swapped out with my sponsor. We'll be back in a few. Thanks for hanging out, folks.